Right, so the first thing you're going to need is material. It's this puffer jacket, as the title says, shiny sort of material, purple. It matches what was made on Instagram. Next of all, you're going to need to lay the jacket out flat, just so we can sort of see how much material we have to work with.
Every day of the week.
So basically on the back here, there's no way we have enough for both sides. So we're going to need to open up the sleeve here just to get more material. So that's what I'm going to do now. To do this, I'm using a thread seam. I'll probably link that in the description below, and scissors as well, just to make everything easier.
So the girl food on 7 times to get back on your feet. Time is precious, time is
cool. So this is what you have once it's opened up inside. You've got like a few layers. The black material inside we actually don't need, so we're just going to cut that out. So this is what you'll have, a nice flat piece of material. I'm going to cut the other arm as well, just in case we don't have enough material. And then I'm going to sew these two pieces together. To be honest, fast forward, you don't even need to sew these two pieces. One arm is enough material. But yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how I'm doing that anyway. All right, cool. So now we're going to cut out the first side on the back of the jacket.
Out in London.
Like I said, we're cutting out the black fabric we don't need because it's just moving around and unnecessary. So to weigh the template down, you're going to need to put something quite heavy on there. So I use my laptop. And then to cut around it, you're going to need to use one of these. It's called a Stanley knife, aka scalpel. And this is just going to mark out the outside of the template, so we know where we're cutting when we use scissors, basically.
Keep the faith. I'm hurt inside, but when you see me, I smile in your face. Forever being told I need to grow up. Being told I need to be a man.
All right, cool. So that's done. You guys can't really see the line on the camera, but I can see it clearly in real life. So now I'm just going to use fabric scissors to cut around this. I do recommend fabric scissors because standard scissors are just not going to cut clean lines. So I'll link those in the description below as well. Next, you're going to need masking tape. I like to tape up the edges just so the foam isn't moving around. You're pretty much good anyway because it is sewn down on the original jacket, but it's just like an extra secureness, you know what I mean? This is me sewing these two together. As I said, you don't need to do this, but if you do want to still, it's basically just putting the two pieces together and using pins to pin them together, and then just sewing either a straight line down or like a zigzag to hold the two.
It's a dark time for the ones around me. Two pills out of space, I'm zooming.
All right, cool. So now we're going to do the exact same that we did for the other side. Lay it down. Going to put the laptop on top to hold it down. Outside with a Stanley knives, aka scalpel, and then cut out with fabric scissors. And then obviously tape the edges with masking tape. Cool, and now we're going to cut out the pieces for the eye part just to make sure the edges are neat. So on the template there's this extra strip and it's labeled like seam part, something like that. So yeah, just cut this out of the material as well. You can do this in two halves because we're going to do each side separate. To sort of help you with a guideline on a jacket, since it's a straight line, you can use masking tape. That's what I did. All right, cool. So now we've got all those pieces. This is kind of how you want to lay the seam end on. So you need to match the edge up to the edge of the eye, pin that down. Then we're going to sew that. And then basically what we're going to do is flip it over the material, so you've got like a nice clean edge. It takes a bit more time for the round part, but you can get it. Just like straighten it out as much as you can, do the same thing. Cool. And then this is what I mean by fold it over. So when you fold it over, this is pretty much how it's going to look. As you can see, super clean, and it just looks well done, you know what I mean? And then on the other side, you're going to pin that down as well, and then flip it back over so you can see what you're sewing, and then try to keep it like next to the previous sewing line, just so it looks clean, you know what I mean?
Heads over, I got my heads over, did the maths cause it ain't no joke.
Cool, and then this is what you're gonna have. So as you can see, I think it looks pretty good for someone who doesn't really sew stuff like this. I think it looks really good. I'm gonna do the same for the other side now.
Pablo, so damn low key on the tightrope. Don't slip, don't lean on the paddle. Slow down on me with no backbone. Why you talking like your life is on the line though? You ain't my slime, you just my side home. Get in my ride.
Watch out for me, I don't lose, yeah. Sweet if I need like a chew, yeah. Three times, don't think I need to tell you anymore. I reside in my zone, baby. I don't really need your love, baby. You should watch your tone, baby. I'll be finding my own, baby, yeah. I'm feeling like Pablo, not be feeling like Narco, yeah. Moving like Jesse, man, I gotta watch my circle, yeah. Water on her, baby, gotta move like jazz and wait, feeling like sparkle, baby, now I'm more like Jordan, yeah.
Oh damn, I'm feeling like Pablo.
Cool, and that's what we have. So next, we're gonna take the zip off of the jacket. So basically, I'm just gonna cut all the material on the outside of the zip and basically just remove it using a seam picker and the scissors. This takes quite a long time to do, but just take your time with it, you'll get it.
Ain't no joke, ain't no joke. Heads over, I got my heads over. Things and it ain't no joke, ain't no joke.
All right, so we got the zip detached. Make sure you keep both of those parts together. And then how we're going to lay it on is exactly the same as we did for the eye. But before we do that, we're going to need to cut the zip down. All you need to do is just cut straight through the zip. So you're going to lay the zip on exactly the same as we did for the eye. Wrong side facing up, basically pin it down. Then we're going to sew that down and then flip the zip over. So when you flip it over, you got like a nice fold on the zip and it just looks clean. But you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you here.
Too high, I can't even stare right. Bad step, they're no friend of mine. But I'm better now.
So there you go. And then we're going to do the same for the other side as well. The thing is, when you cut the zip though, you're not going to have no stop on the bottom of the zip. So I would say just watch a YouTube video on how to shorten zips, or just buy a zip that's exactly the right size that you need. I didn't really speak about that here because I felt like I don't want to make the video mad long, and that's like a whole nother video.
Yeah, I had to live with my friends, they never helped anyway. Hey, put them all with my pace, ladies in my lane. These always in.
Cool, so this is both of them together. Yo, I think this is looking crazy. It's going a lot better than I imagined. So now what we're going to do is just flip the two pieces inside out again. And we're going to sew around the rest of the mask. And then we'll just pull it inside out just to see how that's looking once we do that.
Babe, by the way, it's Roy. Can't face it like Kid Cudi. Codeine, cocaine, TK. I'ma beat his ass, I'm ready. That's a left, front, right hook, get it.
But yeah, I'm definitely already knowing this is going to come out hard because the material is just such a good material. Like, it's lightweight and just, it feels so good when you wear it, trust me. I would genuinely wear this in the winter, I'm not even going to lie. Alright, so now we're just going to flip it inside out just to see what it's looking like.
Call me up, I want you for the night.
Yeah, so it's looking quite clean. Obviously, it's not perfect. There's some pieces that are off. but this is just to show you guys like how to make this. So now we're just gonna cut the bottom of the neck just to make it more like the original Instagram image. And then we're just gonna clean up that edge as well. So I'm using the actual stitch line on the jacket as a guide to get a clean cut. So again, we're gonna do the same as we did for the eyes and the zip. You're gonna need this extra bit of fabric. We're gonna put it edge to edge, pin it down, fold it over. I got this extra piece of fabric from the neck of the jacket, so it's actually long enough that it goes all the way around both sides of the mask. Cool, so there we have it. That's pretty much a rack. This is how it's looking. It looks crazy. I can't wait to try it on and show you guys how it looks. Comment below, let me know what you guys think of this.
Oh, shit.